Yo, James, how we doing?
I'm good. How's everything down under?
It's good. We've had Australia Day. I've had some time off. I feel relaxed. I feel really good, really good. You nice and cold up there?
It's freezing, of course, but it's sky blue. I've had about 6 coffees today, so I'm like full of energy. I'm just like absolutely raring to go. It's early morning for you, isn't it? Have you gotten yourself a coffee or two?
Yeah, dude, the saddest thing. Don't take this the wrong way. I mean it with all, actually not much respect, but I used to get up early on a Sunday morning to go driving with my buddies in the hills. Now I'm getting up early on a Sunday morning to sit with a shag pile rug on my desk and talk to you.
We've got to find another time to do this. Honestly, you can't have this cutting into your drive time.
It's all good, mate. Anything to be with you. Shall we kick off?
Let's do it. Let's roll those credits.
Welcome to Curb and Canyon. Okay, so today, James, we've got our first guest, and I'm excited to talk to this person. They're great, but also it's somewhat about us ticking another box to make the two of us feel legitimate. But there are some people who make a great contribution within the Porsche community through their products and through their broad approach. And I reckon Darin Fister is one such person. He's an innovator. He's a tinkerer. He develops amazing products designed to enhance the Porsche ownership experience. And he's absolutely fantastic to deal with. I've dealt with him multiple times. So, and whether you're in a 964 or a Boxster or a 991, he's got a product for you, and we just want to know more about this wonderful guy, which is why he is here with us today. Darin, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, welcome.
Really well.
Really good to see you face to face, Darin.
Thank you. Pretty exciting getting to see you guys.
The last time I saw you, you were clean shaven. Look at you
probably
now.
Probably was. Yeah, I'm doing a little something different this time.
Yeah. ZZ Top. They're looking to bring someone in.
I don't have any other choices on hairdos, so I figured I'd let the beard grow. My wife's encouraging it. She likes it, so it's a good thing. It's positive.
I think it suits you, mate. It looks fantastic. Where do we find you this, what is that, Saturday for you, right?
I am in my home. This is what I call it. I actually have a bar in my house. It's called the Black Flag Lounge. And I kind of dabble in whiskey and some things. So it's just a spot, it's got some Porsche paraphernalia on the walls and whatnot. It's named after, if you're ever racing and you get black flag, you're pretty much, your day is done. So you go from the track to the pub or the lounge. We call it the Black Flag Lounge. So it's when the racing's over or your day's done, retire to the lounge and have a cocktail. So,
and you're in sunny California, right?
We are, yeah. That's where I am.
I couldn't feel less cool right now. You're in the Black Flag Lounge with all your Porsche paraphernalia. I've got some washing on a clothes horse behind me, sitting in my study.
And by the way, you guys have an open invitation to the lounge. So if you're ever around here,
thank you.
Look me up and we'll have a nice evening in the lounge.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
We call it the BFL. So,
hey, Darin, let's go back to the beginning. Where does the car thing start for you, and then where does the Porsche thing start?
Yeah. The Porsche thing started very early. I tried to buy, my first car I tried to buy was a 74 911, and I couldn't get the deal to go because the guy couldn't get it past smog, and I was way over my budget already, and I was freaking out because I was like, how am I going to fix this car? Because I knew nothing about him at the time. And my father came and looked at it with me. I was 17. My dad came and looked at it, and my dad's a mechanic and stuff too. And he's never been a Porsche guy, and he just couldn't understand why this car was $7,500. Back when I was 17, he's like, this doesn't make any sense. This car's not worth it. Blah blah blah. And my dad, he's just doing dad things.
Yeah.
And I was going to buy it anyways, but the guy could not get it to pass smog. And I finally had to back out of the deal because I couldn't register it in California because it has to pass smog. So unfortunately, that was not my first Porsche that I purchased. I ended up getting a Firebird Trans Am, and that was my love for many, many years. And but the Porsche thing was I always had the posters, and like most of you guys, it's from a kid I just loved the brand, and was very excited about it. So finally, it might be a good thing that didn't work out, because my life might be different if it did. You know how that happens. So years later, I think I was turning or close to being 40, and had a little more success in my life, and started looking. I wanted to get a 930. It's like, oh gosh, I want to get something. 930s were affordable at the time, and I just started looking. They were about 30 grand, and as I was researching, these 993s kept popping up. And I was just like, man, that's just it looked modern, compared to the 930. Yeah. And it was great. I mean, this is probably, in 2000. And so they were already older, but they weren't that old yet. But I was in love, So I was looking at those, and I'm like, geez, a naturally aspirated car, almost 300 horsepower, a little bit newer, modern looking, and all that kind of fun stuff. So I ended up finding my 96 at that point, and switched from the 930 idea to the 993. And then once I did that, it was kind of, just started learning. And the initial thing I did was I didn't like the exhaust as much. So me being a fabricator and whatnot, I took the exhaust off, tore it apart, and then just tinkered with it for a while, and ended up getting something that I liked. And that started me going to shows and runs around where I lived, and some of my friends had 911s or 993s too, and everybody was asking me, well, what exhaust do you have on that car? And I was like, oh, it's my exhaust. I just built it, no big deal. No intention of doing anything beyond that. I mean, I did it for me. And all my friends were like, well, can you do mine? So I was like, yeah, sure, come over. I put the car in the driveway, jack it up in the driveway, take the cans off, go in my garage. Like 6 hours later, come out with my little Frankenstein mufflers and throw them in their cars. And we were kind of start getting active on Renlist at the time too. Renlist was a bit different back then, but it just kind of started really taking off on Renlist a little bit. Yeah. Anyways, it's long story short. That's kind of how it all started. And then, the parts thing came. I just started building stuff for my own car. And as my reputation and the people knew that I was a tinkering and doing things, and people started asking for the stuff I was doing. And it just developed into a point where guys were coming to my house and bringing me suspension kits, and coming to my house with clutch kits. My clutch is slipping. Can you do my clutch while it's here? And,
nice.
It just kind of grew into this, at the time, I didn't know half the stuff I was doing, but I'd say yes. Oh, of course I could do that, fake it till you make it kind of thing. And then I'd do all my research and I'd get in there. I've always been mechanical. And so it was never really my concern, more just learning the car and learning the pieces that are specific to the Porsches and whatnot. And that's basically how it took off. At some point, it was never my intention to have a shop and to do what I do, but it started growing and growing and growing. And pretty soon I was like, well, there's only 8 hours in a day that I can work. Mm-hmm. And if I'm only making an hourly wage, there's only X amount of dollars I could make, So I was like, I need to sell them the parts as well. So then I started my LLC and got hooked up with some parts suppliers. And that was all just a learning process. I just figured it out as I went along. I'm not a business mogul. I'm not a business guy that has a great business mind. I'm a Porsche enthusiast that loves to work on stuff.
That's phenomenal.
So,
and little did you know, when you started tinkering with your exhaust on that 993, that the legend was born.
In my own mind.
It's true.
No, the Fister exhaust, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
You're in the Porsche world, the Fister exhaust. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
So true. And James, do you remember, I remember the first time I heard of Fister. I still remember it to this day. It was on a 996, and I was driving behind this guy, and we were driving in a group, and when we pulled over and stopped, I just went over to him and said, dude, seriously, what is that exhaust? And he said, it's a Fister. I'm like, a what? He said, it's a Fister. And then suddenly it literally just starts appearing. My buddy Cale's got a 993. He's got a Fister. Hey, what's that exhaust? It's a Fister. I'm like, this is the exhaust you've got to have.
Well, that's awesome.
I had a conversation once with somebody saying, well, you should get the Fister. And he said, well, I've got the exhaust from FD Motorsports. I was like, yeah, no, forget that. You want to get the Fister. Not realizing that they were one and the same. And he was looking at me like I was an idiot. And to be fair, it's not wrong.
Well, it's funny. I've had a guy call me on the phone, call me at the shop, and he's talking to me, and he says, "Who am I talking to?" And I said, "Oh, I'm Darin Fister." And he's like, "Wow." He goes, "Isn't that cool that you have like an exhaust named after you?" It was just like such a weird disconnect. I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool, but that's my name, right?" You know that I
go smoke another one, bro.
It was just a weird thing. Yeah, it was just a strange conversation, but I enjoyed it. It was really fun, just seeing the light bulbs going off in his head.
So is the car in your logo that 993 that you were talking about, the first one you bought there?
Which logo? I have multiple things flying around right now.
Oh, you do, don't you? The one on your website, you got a silver, I think 993 with the green surround.
Yeah. That was. It's not technically mine. That was my artist guy. I give him ideas on what I wanted, and I think that's actually like a Turbo S.
Okay,
that's in there. If you go on my website, the initial picture that pops up, that's my 993.
Yeah, that one.
Oh,
yeah. And right now it looks like I'm not a real big sticker guy or any of that stuff, but it's kind of stickered up right now. I got invited to.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It's I'm just doing it for fun. I'm not trying to be a race car poser or anything like that. That's the thing. I'm not a purist. I do what I do because I like it, and I like it for me.
Yeah.
I got invited by KW Suspension because I'm one of their vendors. They did a track day here in California, and they invited me down to bring whatever I wanted. So I figured I'd bring my 993 because I'd tracked that before.
Yep.
I thought, be cool to kind of get some more press I put some big KW stickers on it. And I kind of came up with the design. I just gave it to my sticker guy, and he whipped it out in an afternoon. And it still looks like that right now. I'm debating on whether to take it off or not.
I like it.
Also, I've got my track wheels on there, which are
they look
they're pretty
tough.
sick. Yeah,
they look really tough, huh? Yeah, it looks mega. It really looks brilliant.
I was actually just wondering if you often lost your car in the car park while you were going grocery shopping and you needed your name all over the side of it.
yeah, and it has to be big because I don't.
This is it.
As I get older, I don't see that well anymore, so it has to be big on the side so I can see it. It's just for fun.
Does Mrs. Fister say, "Listen, I'm not getting in the boy racer car with you, Darin. I'm sorry."
No. She loves that car. When we go to car week and things like that, I don't tow my car. I have to drive it. So we have a motorhome. So I drive the motorhome, and she gets to drive the car. So if we're going anywhere, I said, "Which one do you want to take?" She's like, "Oh, the 993," because that's my favorite. So she loves driving the 993. The 964 surprisingly is a little tougher for her. You'd think it'd be the same, but it is a little tougher. The rearview mirror doesn't adjust low enough for her. She's 5 foot tall, so I'll just put that out there right now. Right. She's not a tall person, but so she turns the mirror sideways so she can see out the back window on the 964.
That's amazing.
And my 993, I've got a lightweight flywheel in there, and my new shifter and all that stuff. And that's the one she likes the most. She goes, "That car." Every time we stop, she goes, "That car is so easy for me to drive." And, I married the right one. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
It sounds like she has, with the 964, the exact same yet opposite problem that James has, which is fitting into it, but because she's too small.
How tall are you, James?
Just short of 6'7".
Oh my God.
I know.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You look much shorter. You look much shorter on YouTube.
Well, quite a few people have said that. And I don't know whether this is the camera angle, but when I first started going to car events after, making a few YouTube videos, that's usually what people say first. They're like, "Are you that YouTube auto amateur guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Jesus, I had no idea he was so tall." But
I had no idea either. Does that include the red top?
Oh, no. This takes me, my Ginger Elvis quiff takes me up to about 6'9".
Oh my God!
This is
awesome.
This is pandemic era. I've got to get this wig rocked.
That is awesome.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Which is why I like the 991 and the 992 so much, because it's it's basically a Buick compared to the 993 and the 996.
How about you, Andy? How tall are you?
I'm just an even 6 foot, so somewhere right in the middle there. But you know what? I mean, the whole point of this, the interview is actually just a clever ruse so that James could pitch you an idea of turning the back seat of an air-cooled 911 into a front seat, a little bit like Hightower had to in Police Academy.
Yeah. Well, we could do it. Just need the car here.
Yeah, I think there'd be two people that would want to buy that, either me or Shaq. Shaq would be able to afford it. Right? I don't think I would.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. I had no idea you were that tall. That's beautiful, man. That's brilliant.
Darren, who's your customer? They're all over the world now, right?
Everywhere. Oh my gosh. I have a lot of customers in Australia, actually, which is not surprising, but a little bit surprising because shipping is extremely expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure.
To get to you guys.
Tell me about it, mate.
But I'm assuming everything's like that, right? You guys want something from anywhere, it's going to cost a ton of money to ship it to you.
Yeah, it's just the cost of living here.
Yeah. But I've gotten a lot of great clients in Australia. In fact, I think I'm going to have to go down there and make a business trip out of it and go for a drive with you gents one of these times.
Yes. Now you're talking.
I would love it. Once we hopefully we can get through all this craziness in the world. But yeah, I would love to come down there sometime. You guys just have a lot of
open invite to join us.
You have a lot of animals that kill you, though. That's one thing that I'm not so sure
Ridiculous.
about. You got all the worst snakes and spiders and all that stuff. It's like, man,
it just weeds out the weaklings. That's all. It's okay.
I've seen some of those kangaroos that are like,
the big ones.
They're like buffed, man.
How about the flying fruit bats the size of Labradors? They just absolutely scare the living piss out of me.
No, James,
Absolutely.
Just so you know, cartoons are not nature documentaries, mate. You're getting confused.
Don't blow my bubble.
No, to be honest, the kangaroos you really worry about are the ones that jump out in front of you on the road.
Oh my gosh, I would be afraid to ride a motorcycle down there if that was the case.
Oh yeah,
that'd be crazy. Yeah. So, anyways, back to my customers. I get a lot of customers. I got customers in Dubai, some strange places that I'd be surprised. Turbo stuff in Mexico. A ton in Canada, and of course all across the U.S., all over Europe, New Zealand. There's been a big rush of stuff going to Sweden and Norway right now, shifters. And I'm not sure. I'm assuming somebody must have posted something up somewhere on a Swedish Ren list or something.
Yeah.
And because I'm getting a lot of, it's consistent, like over the past month. It's like I haven't shipped stuff to there in quite a while, but it's crazy.
What are these people looking for? What's your typical customer? What is it about your products you think that they're looking for?
The improvement that you get in the driving experience. Pretty much the bottom line. They find it somewhere, somebody talks about it, and they decide, I think I'll try that. Even though I'm in a different country, or I think there's enough information out there now. That's part of why I think my business has been growing continually over the years. Is it just with the internet, the web gets cast, or the net gets cast a little further and further and further and further, to where before I was dealing with people that knew me from Renlist, or that would know me personally almost, or they felt like they knew me personally from meeting me at events and just seeing me around and that kind of thing. And now I think I'm getting a lot of people that are contacting me that have no idea. They're like, how does this work? I don't even know. Am I supposed to send you my mufflers in? Am I supposed to, because they just read about it somewhere or somebody told them about it. So that's the interesting part too, is like, or I talk to them and they have no clue who I am. They're like, oh, okay, you're the owner of the company. Cool. Not that I'm anybody, because I really am nobody, but it's just interesting that some people, it's just like dealing with Amazon. They're like, I'm calling customer service because I want to order something. I don't understand it, which is interesting, because that's why I think it's just getting, like I said, the net's spreading so far that I'm catching people that really haven't done a ton of research on it or anything. So
now you're established. Do you have a sort of fixed set of products that you're just going to continue selling and maybe refining, or are you also continuing to think about new products that you can bring to market, new ways to, I don't know, fix an axle or a suspension or a shifter,
Right. Yeah. I'm constantly looking, and more right now contemplating development, because it's kind of grown. The monster's grown pretty big, at this point. And, I just lost recently, like last year, at the end of the year, my shop manager, took up a different position somewhere. And, that had allowed me, I was doing a lot of wrenching and had more time to research and development and stuff like that, do some R&D. And then he took another job. So I had to step back into my shop manager position, which is a full-time position, dealing with, the hundreds of emails and the orders and shipping and receiving and product ordering, make sure we have enough stuff to build all the stuff we're doing. Right. So that's really limited me on my R&D time right now. So I'm basically, it's kind of nice because I've stepped back into the shop and get to get my hands back on everything, from start to finish. So it's kind of been a nice transition. But it really has cut back on my service and my work. My hands aren't getting nearly as dirty anymore as they used to. So, which has its own, it's kind of stressful when I'm working on a ton of cars and people are calling me, asking me a ton of questions, and I'm right in the middle of working on something and I have to stop, answer a question, then go back to working on it. It creates a lot of stress for me in that environment. I do enjoy working on the cars, but without the time availability, that's what is becoming the rub right now. I'm running out of the time. So, but yeah, I will eventually, I know I've been dying to get on a turbo muffler for a long time, the 996 through 997 turbos. I did one version. I had a car and I did a version and it sounded really good, but it had a tiny bit of drone, which I don't tolerate. And the guy had to take his car back, and then, life moved on, and I haven't got back to it yet. But that's one for sure. I get a lot of calls from turbo guys that really want me to do something for those cars.
Makes sense.
So we'll see. We'll see if I can get to it eventually. Plus, I'm not getting any younger. My gosh, it's like
whatever.
I got a brand new. I have a brand new grandbaby now, so that's very exciting.
Congratulations!
Yeah, oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. Our first one, and I know how's fatherhood treating you, James?
It's great. It's funny. I've never been happier and more fulfilled in the last 5 years from having my 3 children. Yeah. I've also never been more stressed and anxious on a constant basis. It's like this catch-22. I really love it.
I used to have hair. I used to have hair before I had kids. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, wait till they're teenagers.
What do you have, 2?
I have. Actually, we just welcomed our 3rd. So the last 4 or 5 months have been really interesting with a little girl.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we got a 4-year-old Luke, 3-year-old Adam, and now a 6-month-old Gracie. And Luke,
congratulations, man. That's so cool.
They both love being out in the garage with me. When I'm wrenching on the car, I occasionally turn around and see them taking a wrench to the paint, and I'm grab them quickly. But,
There's a cute meme with a girl next to a car, and she's got a screwdriver, and she scratched "I love you" into the paint on the car. She's like, "I love you, Daddy."
That's amazing.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Do you know, I still have a photo of the day I went to put down a deposit on my 964. I took my son with me, who was then, 9 years old maybe. Mm-hmm. And I took a photo of him. I said, "Hey, why don't you just jump in the driver's seat, have a sit in there." And I've got this photo of him sitting in the driver's seat, holding the steering wheel and looking at me like it hadn't made sense to him until that moment. And suddenly he's sitting in this car and looking at me like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever." It's the coolest photo. I love it.
That's awesome. How old is he now?
13. And my daughter is 17. So yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's it.
So you have 2 as well.
Yeah. Yep. I know you wouldn't think it looking at this young face, but
you do look very young. You do.
Kidding, mate, look at me. Well, it's funny. It's Sunday morning here too, so I've had too much red wine last night as well, so it's all showing.
You look great. You look great.
Thanks, Darin.
I thought you were like 25. I don't know.
There you go. You're welcome anytime. Do you hear that, James? Sorry, I interrupted. Go on. Keep going.
No, that's good. Let's just keep feeding Andy's ego. But, you mentioned kids. One of my favorite things about taking my car to the Cars and Coffee and the car events is when the kids walk along with their parents, and you can tell they want to sit in the car, and some of them are a little shy and they don't want to ask. Some of them, their parents will ask, and I just can't get them in there fast enough. I'm like, sure, here's the key. Start it up. Just don't drive it away.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I really like
get that implanted early. If you go to the races, a lot of times if you have a little kid at the races, I mean the pro races, a lot of those guys will let the little kids sit in the race cars.
Oh.
It's pretty amazing.
That's ace, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's so cool. Yeah. Hey, Darin, just thinking about these cars, a lot of people would say they're brilliant right out of the factory. Why is there a need for the products that you develop? Why do we need them?
It's not a need. I mean, you don't need it, right? It's more like a want. It's like, I don't know, just to me, the things I do are improvements. So you maybe to some people it's not. If you're a purist, for sure, they're going to be like, no, I don't want that. And there are some shops, guys will buy some of my parts and take them to the shop, and they have an old mechanic, and he's like, I won't put an aftermarket parts on there.
Oh, really?
And that's fine. Yeah, it's the way it is, But like my shifters and stuff, they make improvements not only by shortening the throw a little bit or making the tactile portion that you're touching constantly, making that more fun and more enjoyable to do. But there are some failure points in the factory pieces that now these cars are 25, 30 years old. There's some plastic and rubber and things in there that fail and get loose and create, sometimes it can strand you. I mean, if your shifter comes apart, you're stuck, right? You can't even shift your car. So, it improves that. And everything switches over from plastic cups and metal balls to stainless steel rod ends and stainless steel bolts and nuts and stuff that's going to last the life of the car. And so it's just, I don't push it on anybody. If somebody doesn't want that stuff, that's totally fine. I have a lot of people that call for my shifters, especially, and they say, my friends told me I need to get this, but they're like, my car shifts just fine. I don't see the problem, blah, blah, blah. So I talk to them for a while and tell them about the improvements and what it does. And they're like, well, I'll give it a try. And then I inevitably get that email back. They're like, oh my gosh, now I get it. I see what my friends were saying. It's like, I didn't realize you could make this better. And they're like, it's so much better now. And it makes the car more fun to drive, So that's my whole point. It's like, I don't look at anything like, how can I make money? I look at it, how can I make something better? How can I improve on this? And Porsche's, I'm not saying I'm better than the Porsche engineers at all, but Porsche has a budget when they build these cars. They can't do everything they want.
Yeah.
They have to stay within the restraints of their budget, and this is what they can do. And this is what we did in the 964. So we're going to carry it over to the 993 and not change it. There's things like that happen that they don't have control over. And now that it's all these years later, they're not looking to improve the cars anymore. They're on to the, all the new stuff. This stuff is old and it's great. And there's a lot of respect there, but they're not developing parts for it or working on improving parts that are failing. So that's kind of where I think I come in. I just try to make it better,
So you got me all excited about shifters, and I'm now looking at 996 because I'm still working on my 996 project car. What's up? I can't see a shifter. Is there a shifter for the 996?
I don't have one. I don't have one because just due to the fact there's a lot out there right now, and it's all cable driven. It's cable driven stuff, and so there's kind of a certain design that you need to make them all work. They're all very similar, but everybody makes those, right? So to me, it's not a market that I wanted to slip into.
Fair enough.
I have been getting a lot of requests due to the fact with my Fister Design 993 shifter with the new stainless and the knob and custom knob and all that. There's a lot of guys, 997s, 996 are like, hey, how can I get that on my car?
Yeah.
So I may come up with some type of system to do that in the future. I don't know. It's so different compared to the 964, 993s. You're dealing with old school linkage, everything's connected together with linkage and joints and everything. Whereas all the new stuff is just all cable. So
yeah,
I don't know if I'll ever get that far.
With all of that spare time, it sounds like you've got, yeah.
And it's one thing, I don't want to make something that's like a slip-on, you know what I mean? That slips over the top. Part of when I post things, and because there are a lot of people that make those too, and I post like hashtag no fake slip on, it's like, it's kind of my little dig, like mine's real from the bottom to the top. It's all stainless. It's welded together. It's solid. It makes
a difference.
It's not a,
It really does.
Yeah, I think it does too.
Yeah.
I think it does too. I just don't want to be. I don't want to have something you just slip over the top and it gives the impression that it's like that. I want it to be real.
So, how much of the wonderful Porsche culture do you get yourself into? It sounds like you're busy all the time in your shop. You've got a life. A granddad. Do you get out and drive much? Do you get to go to car events? Do you get to enjoy your cars?
I do a little bit, not as much as I would like, of course, just because of crazy times. But and now I've got too many cars to choose from. Not that I have a lot of cars, because my I don't even call it a collection. It's very small. Mm-hmm. But now it's just so tough. It's like I got to take the 914 out. Dang it! I got to take the 944 out. I got to get the 964 out. Because if you don't want to let them sit.
Yeah.
So it's that struggle a little bit too. Every month we have a get together here in Emeryville, which is about a 45-hour drive from here. The first Saturday of every month, we'll get together and have cars and coffee there. And then oftentimes guys will go on a drive after that. And then I started my own gathering, which is Deutsche Spritztour. I don't know if you guys ever have seen that. Or
is that that's
I think
the
it's
t-shirt,
on your t-shirt,
right?
Isn't it?
I really want that t-shirt.
This is my this one is the
it's a crew t-shirt.
Yeah, this is one of my crew shirts. I can get you guys some though, probably. I don't know about James. What size do you wear, James?
Just send me 3 and I'll stitch them together.
Extra large, extra long. Yeah. So anyways, I started doing that. We just had our second show at the end of last year. We skipped 2020 due to the COVID lockdowns. But even that, it's Deutsche Spritztour means German joyride. So it's basically like, people are like, is this a great, do we get to go on a big drive and all this stuff? And it's like, well, it's really a show. I rent a winery near me, and it's a beautiful facility.
Oh, wow.
And I can fit a couple hundred cars in there easy. And last year, I think we had about 130 cars. And unfortunately for me, running the show is it's a lot of work. I have great help. My wife really helps me, and I have a crew that helps me. But I have to be there the night before and then real early the morning of. And I'm there basically all day, just like working. And so people are like, hey, you going to put on a drive before the show? It's like, I can't. But there are a lot of groups around here that do. They meet somewhere and then they drive through these nice back roads here to get to the show. So there's a lot of that. It actually creates driving for people, which I think is awesome. And the show is super fantastic. Wow. A lot of great people. And I tell people, they're like, well, my car's not a show car. It's like, it's not about the show. It's bring what you drive. I don't care if you drive a Macan with 250,000 miles on it to beat all the heck. I don't care. Bring it. Yeah. Park it out there on the grass in the baseball field. Show everybody. It's awesome. So we get a lot of different kinds of cars that come, which is great. I don't want just like all air-cooled 911s. I mean, I love that, but and then there's a certain section in the show with a big giant garage. So last year I had 993s highlighted in there.
That's great.
So, and I had a couple of Rudy was supposed to come. I don't know if you guys know Rudy. Yeah, Rudy was going to come and he was going to bring his Ruby Stone 964, but unfortunately he passed before that happened. But I had some banners made with his picture, with him and some of his cars. I had that in the 993 room. So as you walk through and you saw some of the 993s, you could read. It had like his little story there. You could read about him and see a picture of him. And he was one of my good buddies. So I really miss him a lot.
It must have been great to be able to use that event as an opportunity to pay tribute to Rudy, because, as you say, a great mate of yours who we sadly lost.
Yeah, it was. It was nice. I wish he would have been there and one of his cars would have been there, but it's okay. You have to say, I just feel blessed for the time I did get to spend with him. And, he was a really good guy. He was a great guy.
Yeah, no. Well, I didn't know him. I knew of him, but what was incredible was just seeing how he traveled across all of social media when the news broke.
Yeah.
I mean, he must have influenced a lot of people's lives, must have touched a lot of people. That's just, really, really special soul.
Yeah, he was a really close friend of mine. And, but everybody I talked to, they feel that. They're like, I used to talk to him. I used to text him, or he'd call me, and he just made everybody feel that way. If you had a question about cars or whatever, not that he knew everything, but he would love to just talk to you about it. And if he knew something that could help you, he would offer it up. We would go to events in Texas where he lived. The first one I went to, I can't remember how many years ago it was, but I think he must have had about 18 993s at the time, maybe some 964s thrown in. And all these guys flew in, a bunch of guys. And he was like, which car do you want? Oh, I want the speed yellow 993. Okay, Here you go. Which one do you want? And he gave everybody keys, and we went out on the highway to go to the show that they were putting on. And we did a nice couple little high speed runs, and he had photographers out there. So you got pictures of yourself in the car, motion shots and everything. And I mean, it just there's people from Canada, people from all over that came in, and they're like, I never even met this guy, and I'm driving one of his Porsches around today. I mean,
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's impactful. Yeah. That's impactful. He's a believer, and he's a very godly man. So he would use that opportunity to tell his story, which is an amazing story of his life and how he was saved. And it's really incredible. And he touched a ton of people with that. It was just really fun to hang out with him. Really fun.
Well, like I say, I'm glad you had the opportunity to pay tribute to him in some form at your event. What a great thing to do.
Yeah, it's a great community. It just really is. You guys know.
Yeah. I'm blown away by it constantly, and meeting people all over the world, all over the country. Very welcoming community, very diverse community. It's been really phenomenal.
It was the big learning for me buying my car was my expectation of what the Porsche community looked like versus what it is. Two very, very different pictures because, I imagined that it was all about meeting people who'd want to talk about what their annual salary was and having pissing contests about horsepower and the like. And instead, you just meet all these people who have dreamt of these cars, suddenly found a way that maybe they can get one or maybe they can build a collection. It doesn't really matter, but just genuinely great people who look out for one another. And yeah, I've made some of the best friends I've had in my entire life through the ownership of this car.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you 100%. Yeah. It's, when you're not in it yet and you're reading about it and you're understanding it, there's that standing joke. What is the difference between a Porsche and a porcupine? On the porcupine, the pricks are on the outside, but it's really not like that. It's really not like that, especially when you get into anything older, Now, if you got, doctors and lawyers buying brand new, $300,000 911s that just want to take their wife out to dinner and show status at the office, that's different. When you get back into the cars that are, well, they used to be more affordable. They're not so much anymore, but when they were affordable, the average guy could buy a $25,000 964. Yeah. I mean, that was like, hey, these cars aren't that expensive. Yeah. I can actually own one. So
gosh, I wish I bought mine back then.
Yeah, right. Me too.
I've got a buddy who bought his like 2 years before mine, and he paid half what I did.
So I've got to ask Darin, what would your dream Porsche be? From somebody who's like up to his eyeballs in the world, and has the reputation in the industry. What would yours be?
And just before you answer, don't feel obliged to say mine. It's like you don't have to.
It's that age-old question. Who can? I mean, you always go, 73 RS, right? I mean, that would be what I'd have to have, right? But it's so hard because there's so many great cars. I would struggle with choosing just one. I would love like a beautiful 356 Outlaw. Mm-hmm. Of course, I would love to get my hands on a long hood. I've never had a long hood yet, but it'd have to be a hot rodded one. I wouldn't want just a stock one. You drive those; they're great and they're brilliant, but you drive those compared to like a 993, and it's just like, wow, these cars don't seem that impressive. They're beautiful, but they're just not. They don't have the horsepower and the suspensions and stuff that the newer cars have. But I don't know. I don't think I could just settle on just one thing. There's too many choices, right? Too many choices. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, we won't hold you to it. It's okay.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I've driven I drive some of the newer cars, and they're so amazing. The new GT3s and stuff are just I mean, they're out of this world, but they actually scare me to drive them. It's like they are so fast, and I don't know. It's
You could do something stupid in them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, so quickly, so quickly. I like to drive the slow cars fast. That's what I like to do. The older slow cars, drive them fast. That's just my thing, you know.
No, I agree.
I don't claim to be a race car driver or anything. I mean, I have raced a little bit, very extremely amateur, and I love that. That's probably one of the most funnest things you could ever do in your life. But yeah, those cars just they make me nervous.
You need a track to fully exploit.
I was driving. I got to drive one of Rudy's last visit I did with Rudy was a couple of months before he passed away, and we always go for a drive when I'm down there. And he's like, "Well, what do you want to drive?" And I often will pick his blue turquoise 993, but he had this Riviera Blue GT3. What is that one? Is it a 972? I think maybe. Man, we went out on a drive in that thing, and I got separated. We got on some double yellow roads, and I got separated from him for a while. And I came to we're out in the back country in Texas, and there was a passing lane I saw. So I kicked it down with my finger, you know, and gunned the throttle, and that thing freaking took off like a rocket ship. And as I passed this car, the last car that I was passing swerved out into my lane a little bit and was like yelling out the window, like he was mad that I was passing him. And yeah, so I was like, my adrenaline was pumping. I was freaked out. Well, about 25 seconds later, I get the flashing lights behind me. And I'm like, we're out in the middle of nowhere out in Texas. I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. So I get pulled over, and it was the quintessential Texas cop. He's about 5'6", about 300 pounds, mustache, you know, came up like all upset, you know, with me, and you didn't see me back there, did you? You know, I was like, I didn't see anybody, sir. I was watching the road, you know. I didn't tell him this car was scaring me, but I was watching the road. I did not see you. And as he's talking to me, the guy that I passed pulls up behind the cop car and starts yelling out his window at me and the cop and everything, like trying to say that I was doing something crazy or whatever. I was just passing. It wasn't that big of a deal. But so the cop went back there and shoot him off because they don't like people coming up on their stops. Right. He was upset. He was upset with that guy too. But he came and talked to me, and then he was like, "Well, that doesn't happen very often. You know, that guy was really mad at you." And so, anyways, he took my license, and I'm in Rudy's car, so I don't even know where the registration is. I'm like, I don't see any registration. This is a Texas thing. Maybe they don't have them. I don't know. So I give him my California driver's license. I told him I'm out here. We were actually out there for Rudy's grandson passed away, and they have an annual thing every year. So for Live Like Raiden. So that's why we were there. And he took my license back to his car, and he's back there for a few minutes, and I'm watching him in my mirror. Stupid me. I should have filmed it. But, you know, at that time I was too worried. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to go to jail in Texas? You know? So I should have took some pictures and filmed some of it, but I didn't. It was my bad. But so he came back, and when he got out of his car, I noticed he didn't have his little book with him or anything. And he had my driver's license in his hand. So I thought, maybe I'm not going to get a ticket. So he came back and read me the riot act, and, you know, and don't ever come back to this. I know what he did. First off, he offered me choices. And I said, okay. He goes, do you want to come back in a month to Texas and go before one of my judges? And I was like, not really. He goes, okay. He goes, do you want to write a big check for this ticket, send it back? And I was like, are those my only two choices? And he was like, he's looking at me and he goes, no, there's one more, you know, don't come back in this. When you catch up to your friend, you know, because he ran the plates. I guess it tells him where Rudy lives and all this stuff. And he said, you find your friend, you tell him, don't come back to my county anymore. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, he went off on me for a while. And I was like, so then I have to start this thing up, right? And it's got like some type of sport pipes on it, you know? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I, fired up right in front of him. I'm like, trying to be as quiet as I can. And I kind of creep out in first gear with my blinker on, you know. I was like, thank you, sir. I appreciate what you do, you know. But it was exciting. But luckily I didn't get a ticket.
That's amazing. If that was Australia, you would have been locked up. You would have never seen your car again. Yeah. Gone.
Well, it wasn't my car. That was the funny thing. It would have been Rudy's. I'm like.
Well, Rudy never would have seen his car again.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was exciting. Texas is always exciting.
Yeah. Well, hey, Darin, the idea of you driving off into the sunset in Texas is perhaps a good segue. I think we've probably kept you long enough on your Saturday afternoon, right?
Oh, it's no worries. Whatever you guys want. I like talking to you guys. So it's
Appreciate
all good.
it.
Yeah, great seeing you too.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, and yeah, open invitation, mate. When this craziness is over and you come down to Australia, we've got to get you out on a drive with us for sure.
I would love that. I would love it.
And same here. I don't know why you would ever want to come to Minnesota, but if you do, you're very welcome.
How about you come out to California? How about we reverse that?
That is
you come
more
out
like
and see
it.
me. We'll do that.
Why don't we all meet in California? That sounds like a much better
yeah.
plan.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Far fewer kangaroos on the road there.
Yeah.
All right, Darin.
All right,
Great
gents.
speaking
Well,
with you.
it is always a pleasure. Always a pleasure talking to you guys, and I'm glad I got to see your faces today. And congratulations with all your guys' success and the YouTube stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan.
Thank you so much.
I'm a big
Appreciate
fan.
it, mate.
Talk soon.
What a great guy, huh?
So nice. What a great guy.
And great storyteller.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, I hear two things about Darin. One, he's very easy to work with, and two, he's a really nice guy. And I can totally believe that from just talking.
Yeah. So humble. And, I remember him telling me how, he'd be answering the phone in the middle of the night because he'd get a call from somewhere overseas and just a guy who loves his business, loves what he does, and just a genuinely decent dude. So good to have him on the show.
Yeah. I when I first bought my my first set of Fisters, I called up and he answered. And he said, "Hey, it's Darin speaking." And I was like, "Wow.
Yeah.
How you doing? I want some Fister mufflers." And who's just like so nice. Such a nice guy.
Yeah. He is. Yeah. And when I did my review video on my Fister for the 964, I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if I could talk to him? And I just messaged him and he's like, yeah, cool, let's do it. I was like, really? You'll be in the video? Yeah, no problem.
That is so good.
Wow, what
so
a guy.
good.
What a guy. Well, that brings us to an end of episode 3, James.
Episode 3.
How's that, eh? 3.
Fantastic.
Hey, to all of our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And please make sure you subscribe to us on Instagram as well. Start following us there because that's where all of our announcements take place. If you are a fan of either of us on Insta, follow us on Curb and Canyon as well.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week with another pod. Take care. Bye.
See you again.